Behind closed doors, Haftarat Vayera. Finally, we have finally reached Haftarah with familiar stories. Our Haftarah includes two of Elisha's well-known miracles. First, the miracle of the oil jug that continued producing oil until there were no more vessels, not to be confused with Eliyahu's flask of oil that provided until Hashem sent rain. And two, the miracle of a child born to the Shunammite woman and his untimely death, which the more patient among us, apologies to the Sephardic communities, will also get to see him restored to life by Elisha. Again, not to be confused with Eliyahu's revival of the Tzfatit woman's son. The reasons for combining these two stories into one Haftarah and the odd point where the Sephardic communities stopped reading could have been fascinating investigations had they not been thoroughly explored in every book dealing with Haftarot. Instead, as is my way, I want to examine a minor point that intrigued me. What's the deal with all the closed doors in the Parasha and Haftarah? Why are there so many? Before we proceed, I should probably explain what I'm talking about. At first glance, I might seem to be overreacting. The Haftarah and Parasha don't have enough doors, open or closed, or in any other state to justify the question, right? I mean, how many doors are there in the Parasha? One door in Lot's house is mentioned as closed twice, once by Lot and once by the angels, and once more when the men of Sodom approach to break it down, although at that time it's closed only by insinuation. The Haftarah doesn't have many doors either. One that Elisha tells the woman with the oil jug to close, and once more when she closes it, and one that Elisha closes behind himself and the Shunammite son when he's reviving him. Why define a door being explicitly closed 5 times in the Parasha and Haftarah combined as so many? Well, relative to the rest of the Tanakh, 5 is a lot. I wouldn't be exaggerating if I said that these are the 2 largest concentrations of closed doors in Tanakh. Although closed doors appear in several places, they're not found in such concentration, at least not explicitly using the words closed and door. Is this a central point in the Parasha or the Haftarah? As I opened with, not necessarily. Is it interesting that although I don't think we would give the title of Behind Closed Doors to either the Parasha or the Haftarah, closed doors play a role in both disproportionately to any other part of Tanakh? I think so, although I'm currently still not sure why. Meanwhile, I think the differences between the closed doors in Parasha and Haftarah are worth noting. Lot's door serves for protection. Inside are people he believes need protection. Outside is an angry mob, so Lot closes the door to prevent them from entering. Its purpose is to separate and prevent physical entry. A very different experience from what Lot grew up with Uncle Avraham, sitting at the tent's entrance, well, that's an explicit verse, with the tent's flap fluttering in the wind. At least the way my fertile imagination sees it. In contrast to the clear danger Lot's door is trying to block, the purpose of Elisha's closed doors isn't as obvious. Evidence of this lack of clarity is that, despite many more commentators discussing Bereshit than Melachim, I couldn't find any commentator exploring Lot's closed doors compared to several who explained the reason for Elisha's. Among the suggested reasons were preventing the evil eye from affecting the miracle, preventing unworthy people from seeing what happened, explaining miracles tend to occur in secret and so that Elisha could concentrate on prayer. Although I don't disagree with anything I've said so far, there are several things that I think warrant another glance. Although aside from Moshe, Elisha is the best miracle worker in Tanakh, he performs most of them in full view. Splitting the Jordan, healing the waters, providing water in Edom, Naaman's leprosy, and others don't require closed doors. Most even happen outside. What's the difference between these and the miracles in the Haftarah? Another point worth noting is that for the oil jug miracle to happen, the woman needs to gather vessels from outside from all her neighbors. The Shunammite woman also closes the door behind the boy and goes out to the man of God. Although the miracle happens inside, behind closed doors, for it to happen, someone from outside needs to be involved. Lot's story also invites the reader to examine the relationship between inside and outside. Lot invites the angel inside, but they refuse. He goes out to the men of Sodom, but he can only leave the city precisely because the men bring him inside. I don't want to draw any moral conclusions. That's not my style. I'll just end by noting that in the Haftarah, As in the rest of Tanakh, they close the doors Vaisgor Adelet. First, the closing action is described, and only then is the door mentioned. With Lot and his angels, however, Ve'adelet Sagaru, the door they closed. First, the door is mentioned, and only then is the action. In the rest of Tanakh, a door is sometimes closed. For Lot, that's the purpose of a door. The only purpose. In loving memory of my beloved and heroic student, Amichai Shimon ben Ishayan bat Yarubin Hashem Yikom Damo, Dovi Holtz, one who loves Tanakh.